Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. Today's episode is going to be about raising Ace to be tough.
Say hi, ladies. Come on.
Say hi.
Say hi to the camera.
Oh,
no, I know you're fussy. I know you're
He's
fussy.
being fussy.
You're trying to be too tough, Ace.
Yep.
But yeah, so we settled on to be tough for this title. We thought about other words like to be resilient, to persevere, to be gritty, to be strong-minded. But toughness really includes all of those other words.
Yeah.
And it's really the best word for the video.
Right.
And toughness is a mindset. So there's a lot of mindsets that we're gonna go deep into in this video.
Yes.
And I told Mariam before we started too, I really believe that this is perhaps the most necessary video out of all of the videos that we're doing, because so many people, they have misguided definitions of what toughness is. You know, like some guys, they might be so preoccupied with looking tough or not being soft that they don't prioritize or put energy towards their goals.
Right, because toughness is really like from the inside and not the outside.
Exactly, it's internal.
Yes.
You know, and that's how we're defining toughness in this video.
Right.
And when they're overly focused on looking tough, that in and of itself is a soft mindset, because you're caring about what people think. So for us, we're defining toughness as like achieving your goals by any means necessary.
Yeah.
Through any opposition, people, doubters, adverse circumstances. Then another part of toughness is being true to who you are, your values, and your mindset, no matter what happens too. Right. So let's get right into some of the information that we came up with. So I was thinking, like, there's two types of grind, Mariam. Yeah. One grind is what happens to you. Another grind is what you do. So the what happens to you is like living in poverty, not knowing when food is coming on the table. Maybe making mistakes, going to prison, overcoming that, maybe a major health issue. What happens to you? Adverse circumstances. But that's not the ideal way for a person to harden, especially for a child, of course. Like, we hope Ace doesn't have to do or experience any of those extreme circumstances. Yeah. So with him, like, the main thing is his self-imposed grind. His toughness is going to come from doing tough things. What that looks like is work ethic, challenging himself, you know, challenging himself to really be true to his values and his mindset no matter what happens.
Yeah.
And if we can really prioritize these toughness habits 24/7, when he encounters something like an adverse circumstance, he's gonna be better equipped to deal with it too.
Right.
Because, you know, I posed a question to you earlier. I was like, if someone has cancer, does cancer make them tough, or does it reveal their toughness?
It's just for show that they're tough already.
Yeah, like they were probably already tough to begin with. Like, it can harden you to a certain extent, but it's really like you gotta build up those habits before adversity even strikes. So when adversity strikes, you're able to handle it. So that's why we're really gonna emphasize that with Ace. And when he encounters adversity, we really want him to prioritize, like, put pride in overcoming the adversity, not just experiencing it. You know, there's a distinction there. Because when you just take pride in experiencing it, then you don't focus on your mindset going through it and how you're going to get through it.
Right.
You know, like, if he has like a sprained ankle and he goes to a basketball game, it's not enough just to play the game. Like, play to the point where no one knows you even have a sprained ankle.
Yeah.
You know, if he's tired in school, work through that, fight through that to the point where it doesn't affect your studies. Mm-hmm. So it's just really pushing yourself from that standpoint. And even like another example that I thought of is like, even like his value system. If he's positive and he's kind, don't let an adverse circumstance, or if something happens to him, to change that. Right. You know, so many people, even with their positivity, if they have a bad relationship with a partner or a friend, they might take it out on the next person and say all men are bad or all women are bad. But that, by doing that, you're letting that adverse circumstance affect your value system and your mindset. Yeah. You know, so it's not just like for your goal's sake, to like stay committed to that, but it's also for just your value system too. Like, by any means necessary, stay committed to your goals. That's the most important thing through any opposition, through anything that you come across, pretty much. Yeah. And the next point that I want to mention with this is, like, Ace needs to persevere through any situation. You know, and this is tied in with our last videos that we talked about too, in terms of being courageous, facing his fears. Same thing with toughness. Like, do what is tough. That's going to get you better. Our To Be Smart video, growth mindset through challenges. To Be Confident video is like the confidence in uncomfortable situations is going to enable you to grow. Right. So there's a lot of examples with this, and we want Ace to really notice the opportunity in his challenges. So like if he's tired in basketball practice, he's got to fight through it. Don't use it as an excuse. If he's like, he thinks it's like too much work to show his work on a math problem, we want him to overcome that and still show his work on that.
Yeah.
Even like a painting. Say he's 7 years old. What's the easiest thing to do with a painting? Let up on the background of the painting, maybe. Like, who cares about the sky, right? The tough thing to do is like every detail of the painting mastered. Right. You know, so toughness is about doing tough things, even from that standpoint, pushing yourself.
And going above and beyond, basically.
Yeah, and like we can call it like a phrase, like it's time to show toughness time, Ace.
Yeah.
Like that's what tough is, doing tough things. And that's also tied in with our To Be Purposeful video on just having purpose in what you do too. Being productive with your time. Because like so much of productivity is toughness. It's choosing activities that are for your growth. So instead of say 1 hour wasting time on social media or doing something unproductive, he wants to study for the next day. You know, so that's really going to be powerful if you can see the correlation there. And Mariam, I thought about this quote from Martin Luther King. He says something along the lines of, nothing pains people more than having to think. Right. It's like thinking, that takes mental toughness. And we're really going to make that correlation with ACE and not to think toughness is something physical. Like it's mental. It's being dialed in through being uncomfortable perhaps.
Yeah.
And my next point in the video is even persistent in terms of like not giving up. Like if he's say shooting a basketball age 2 or 3 into the hoop, even if he misses, we're gonna encourage Ace to keep on shooting. You know, keep on shooting, like just keep on making the shot and keep on getting better. Even if he makes the shot, right. Keep on shooting also.
Yeah.
You know, life is a game of what have you done for me lately? So it's like, I don't want Ace to say like 2 weeks ago I studied that and I got an A. It's like, well, that was 2 weeks ago. Like being tough is consistent.
Yeah.
And also, I was thinking one strategy I use, I'm aware of thoughts in my head that want me to give in, to be lazy. So I defeat that soft voice in my head. So for me, that might look like when I'm working out, there's always a voice in my head saying, Brian, you don't have to go hard on this set. Like, you don't have to go to failure.
Yeah.
Or if I'm in school and I'm studying or something like that, it's like, Brian, just take it easy. Just watch TV the next couple of hours. Like, you studied enough. You know, or even with Ace, when I'm playing with him, there's a thought like, just, you know, it's not a big deal. Just put Ace in front of a phone or a TV instead of playing with him. You're tired, Brian. Yeah. But I overcome that lazy voice, that soft voice in my head every day. I'm at war with myself pretty much. So with Ace, the same thing. I want him to be aware of like the dull thoughts in his head and overcome the weaker versions of that.
Yeah. It's always that little voice in the back of your mind telling you to just chill. But you don't want to chill.
Yeah. And like that's tied too with our purposeful video on seeing the cause and effect of things.
Yeah.
So if he's age 6 or 7, we might run through a list of pros and cons for Ace. Like Ace, like I mean, if you watch TV the next few hours, like what's gonna happen? And if you study, what's gonna happen tomorrow?
Right.
And he'll see like, I'll do better on the math test, or something like that. Like there's always pros and cons for things. I mean, even if he's deciding between say playing video games versus going out with friends, like what's the pros and cons of that? You know, like video games, I don't want to harp on video games. Like you maybe have them at some point, but to be real, like no character trait that we're talking about in this whole video series, especially toughness, has been developed through playing video games. That's just being real.
Yeah.
And we don't want Ace to like have a victim mentality on anything. Like if he comes to us and be like, Dad, like I can't do it. Like this thing's against me. Like I can't do it. You know, or he gets a math problem wrong and then he sulks about it, or like he feels bad for himself. Like we need him to understand like things you can't control, don't even focus on. Things you can control is your work ethic and that sort of thing. You can always take that with you. You know, just believe that you will succeed. Don't feel sorry for yourself. That's not really helpful to the situation or making excuses for yourself.
Right.
And then also toughness too, man. As I said in the beginning, it's staying committed to goals by any means necessary. You know, and this is the part that a lot of people miss in the toughness equation. There's so many people, like we said before, that act fake tough or dumb perhaps, and they think they're being tough.
Yeah.
So one example I'm going to mention, sports reference, Kobe Bryant. In the 2009 playoffs, you can look it up. I'll put it in the description too. Ron Artest got in his face in the middle of the game, and he won the fight or something. And what did Kobe do? He put his hands up. Kobe like backed down pretty much. Sometimes backing down is a form of toughness. What went through Kobe's head? what went through his head was, I've got a goal, and there's no one that's going to stop me from achieving that goal of winning an NBA championship. Right. No one's going to distract me or get me off my rhythm, get me thrown out of the game and hurt my team. You know, he wasn't so preoccupied with looking tough or trying to prove he's not scared. Like, Ace is going to come across people in the future where they're going to say to him, like, just fight this person, Ace. And so many people give into that, or even, like, not fight this person, but some classmate in his ear might say, Ace, can you just talk to me? Are you scared that you're going to get in trouble by the teacher? And so many kids give into that because they're scared of not doing something for fear of the perceptions of people.
Right.
But with Ace, we want him to stay true to his goals and tell people, like, look, I've got these goals and I'm going to be tough-minded to get them done by any means necessary. Yeah. You're not going to control me. You're not going to get me to do something that I don't want to do.
Yeah.
You know, so many people, they let people control their life. Like, don't take toughness tips from people who haven't done any positive things in their life. Mm-hmm. Toughness is staying committed to your goals pretty much. And that's what we really want to emphasize with Ace. And my next point is too, with that too, assertiveness is important. So we're not saying Ace is going to be a punk. He's going to stand up for himself when he needs to, maybe defend himself. Yeah. But when you carry yourself with authenticity, with conviction, and just confidence, and you're dialed into your goals, you realize no one really messes you to begin with.
No. Yeah.
You know? So like, he's going to be assertive, but he's not going to be out there just looking for opportunities to prove this fake toughness thing that some people desire to prove.
Right.
And my next point too is, some people think that crying is showing that you're soft, or that's not toughness.
Yeah.
But that's not the case. Like, it's a really weak thing to suppress emotions that you're feeling for fear of other people's perceptions or a misguided notion of how you should be. Right. That's a very weak thing. Like, if you're feeling hurt, let it out. Don't be afraid to show that. And I wrote a post years ago called Tears Are for the Tough. Michael Jordan, he cried after a basketball game. Kevin Garnett, he cried after a basketball game. Because he was that passionate and he used that to fuel his greatness. Yeah. So like, use your emotions to fuel you.
Yeah.
This ties in with the guy online I follow, Jason Wilson is his name. Right. He has great content. He talks about strength and vulnerability, how being strong and sensitive are not mutually exclusive things. So check out him if you'd like to. And the next point I want to mention too is, we're not going to spoil Ace. Because
we're definitely not.
We're not. I mean, we hope in 5 years, 10 years, we're pretty well off financially, but he's still going to earn what he gets.
Yeah.
I think some parents, when they kind of make it, they make things easy on a child. Yeah. But guess what? I think a child needs to keep that edge to a certain extent. Like, we're not going to like make him struggle for food or something like that, but he's going to work for what he gets.
Yeah.
Like, that's very important to us.
It's going to make him more hardworking at everything. Like, and it's kind of, I feel like it's worth it when you work for things than just somebody handing it to you, because it's like it's just a good feeling, you know, accomplishment.
It's a feeling that no one can judge.
I can do this.
It's
all
such
on
a
my own.
prideful thing.
Yeah. And
that pride extends to just toughness in general.
Yeah.
Like, let pride and work ethic, since they go hand in hand, let them be your greatest skill. You know, when you come across a situation where someone would usually break from, say, look, an analogy I like is, like, think of yourself as a fist, right? Like, when you come across an adverse circumstance, so many people break from that and they crumble. Or so many people from an adverse circumstance, or when something happens to them, they break their value system. But we want him to be like a fist and just be that tough, maintain his values, maintain the trajectory towards his goals, no matter what, no matter adversity, no matter any opposition that he comes across.
Right.
And for you parents out there, be conscious of that. Like, life is going to swing at your child, and make sure that they have the tools, the confidence, and the skills, and the toughness backed up to deal with that when the time comes to accomplish anything that they want to accomplish. Yes. Defeat the lazy voice in their head to just stay committed on their path to greatness, pretty much.
Yes. So guys, that's it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. We really, really appreciate it. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and stay tough, I guess.
Stay tough. And share the video. If you don't do that, that's all right. Share the message, though. That's the most important thing. Us as a human species, we need people to define tough in an appropriate way and raise their children to be tough. Hey, Ace, you all right? Do you want to say bye, Ace? Come on. Come on.
Okay.
Come back.
Be tough. Be tough, Ace.
Be tough, Ace.
Be tough. Say bye.
Say bye, Ace. Come on.
Bye.
Till next time. Take care.
Blow a kiss.